It's been a rough few days for a lot of you. There's been a lot of new people that have found this blog from Twitter or the internet or what have you, and a lot of you are kind of having a difficult time. And I got to be honest with you, I remember it like it was yesterday. The excruciating times, I think the pure helplessness at some moments where it was just like nothing I did worked, everything backfired. Samantha would have days where I would think, we're going to be okay. And then she would have 2, 3, or 4 days where I thought, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to go as fast as I can, and I'm going to run into a wall, and it'll be over because I can't keep doing this. It's very hard. So I've entitled this vlog, This Sucks, because there's no other way to say it. If you're a betrayed spouse, specifically, but if you're an unfaithful spouse, this sucks, the mess you have made of your life. It's at this point that I remember the 5 stages of grief, which are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. The struggle, though, is they don't really happen in linear form. I mean, you could go from denial to anger, back to denial, to bargaining. I mean, they float for people like me. I mean, those stages are tough. But I really want to help you with just what worked for Samantha and I. The fact is, you can't live with this sucks mentality. It hurts like hell, but I'm going to tell you that there is purpose to your pain. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean that this is God's will that your spouse cheated, or that this is God's will that you cheated. I'm sorry, that will never, ever work with me, because I've been through it, and I've helped too many people walk through it to own that mentality. However, if you subscribe to faith, I'll come back to that in a minute. If you don't subscribe to faith, then let me just help you first and tell you that, listen, you're going to have to accept the fact that this has happened, and this sucks, but this has happened, and for me, the best thing that I can tell you is there just was no other way to get to the deeper places in my life that needed to be addressed. I mean, let's face it, I was so messed up. I was riding the horse of success. I was experiencing success everywhere but with Samantha. But I was so focused and narrow-minded and so going after, and I had hid my infidelity so well, that I was a wrecking ball. I had become something that I never wanted to become and that I had made fun of when I was in my, early 20s and said I'd never become that. I became exactly that. There was a lot going on inside of me, and I had resisted so many attempts to get at the deeper place, okay? I just did. From pastors, from leaders, from good friends, from just what have you. I resisted anybody that wanted to go to the deeper place inside of me. Now, there could have been an easier way for my life to be saved. There could have been an easier way for my marriage to be reprogrammed. There was a lot of easier ways, but because of my selfishness, my self-absorption, my blindness, my dysfunction, I wasn't going to have any of it. So the blame is on these shoulders, okay? Yeah, there was a lot of other dysfunctional stuff going on and this and that, but at the end of the day, I caused the carnage that I caused, and I wish there was another way that I could have seen my life really transformed. And I wish there was another way that I had allowed my marriage to be transformed. But I was too stupid, too self-absorbed, and too much of an idiot to do it the right way. I had to have it be done the wrong way. Now, this is where we take a break, and I say, for those of you that subscribe to faith, I'll come back to that in a minute, but let me talk to those of you that don't necessarily subscribe to faith. The fact is, it has been allowed for your affair to come out, or you might still be in the affair. The fact is, it's happened. You can deny it, or you can accept it. You can realize that this has happened, and how you respond. Remember, there was an old blog I did. How you respond is how you win or lose. And quite frankly, this is a moment for your sorrow, your pain to not ever be wasted. This is an opportunity to go to the deeper place and say, you know what, I wish it would have been easier. I wish that it would have happened another way, but I have got to embrace what's going on, and I've got to deal with what's going on inside of me, because for whatever reason, these issues were not able to be addressed any other way. It's had to come through infidelity. I promise you, if you do this right, if you keep going, your sorrow, your pain, your hurt, the trauma, all of it will not be wasted. It's making you a better person if you will embrace it. For those of you that do subscribe to faith, let me just tell you and let me encourage you that God never wastes the sorrows that He allows us to go through. If He allows us to go through something, He has a purpose for it and He has grace for it. Otherwise, He wouldn't allow us to go through it because it would kill us. The reality is that I have to ask you, the bigger question is, will you embrace this, and will you let God go to the places that He needs to get to minister to you? And will you, as an unfaithful spouse, accept what has happened and stop resisting everyone and everything and just let God go to the deeper place? Because I will tell you, in my own life, the only way that He could have done all the things that He has so wonderfully done has been allowing the affair to be exposed. I hated it that it had to go that way. Samantha despises it, but yet when you look at our little life, it saved our lives. And I know that this sucks for you, and I know that you want to quit, and I know that you want to get angry every day, all day, and I know that it is incredibly excruciating. But there's 4 things I want to tell you today that I hope help you. Number 1, embrace it. I talk to so many people who you can tell they're not really present, and they're fighting so many battles with so many people. Listen, embrace what has become of your life, and either allow God or either allow recovery work to take place in your life to go to all the different places that you need to get to. Childhood issues, anger issues, rejection issues, insecurity, all of that, embrace it. Number 2 is don't, what I call, anger your way through it. There was a season where I just angered my way through it. I was mad at everybody. I was mad at my kids. I was mad at Samantha. I was mad at my baseball team that I was coaching. I was mad at my boss. I was mad at my clients. I was mad at God. I was mad at everybody, and I was going to anger my way through it. So I just got angry. I just got pissed. I just got mad. I lived in anger. Everybody got anger from me. And one day I got some whiskey, and I sat down, and in the middle of this little whiskey binge, I just started crying. And I was like, man, I'm so tired of being angry. And I just called my buddy and said, man, the anger is not getting me through it. So don't anger your way through it. It's not going to get you there. It's not going to get you where you need to go. Number 3, don't do this alone. That's the last thing that you want to do. There's courses on the site. There are hurting people out there on the site. There's things that you can do. But if you try and do this alone, it will crush you. It will isolate you. It will put you in places that you never wanted to go, to do things you never wanted to do, because you're alone. And one of the reasons I love to do this, believe it or not, it's a lot of time, work, and energy, and there's a lot of people that I'm eternally grateful that make this thing happen, but I really do genuinely love to be able to kind of help you feel that you're not alone and that there's someone kind of standing with you as you go through hell. Number 4, finally, don't fight the reprogramming that's trying to happen. I assure you, whether it be God or whether it be you're holding on to fate or maybe you completely don't believe in God, but I will tell you the circumstances are trying to reprogram you. They're trying to reprogram you 2 ways. One way is they're trying to bend you and distort you and make you this angry, bitter, whiskey-drinking, bitter, angry person. it's also trying to form you and shape you and make you a better person. And you're going to have to allow the reprogramming to happen. You may have to let go of some old habits and some old mannerisms. You may have to let go of some old belief systems. But I promise you, if you'll keep going, on the other side is more than you ever thought